Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I am drastically undercaffeinated. So warning for those of you who cannot handle listening to people taking sips of things. I will be drinking coffee during this episode, starting right now. Hold, please. Can you guys hear that? I always warn people because some people really have a thing about that. I don't care. I give really good phone, by the way. We need to talk about that. Who else gives good phone? It's a lost art. And I'm not talking phone sex. Calm down. Although I may or may not have a talent in that area. I'm talking about the art of conversation, of a real phone call. I'm not talking even FaceTime. I'm talking a legit phone call. And I had so much practice. I got my own phone line, like a true white rich girl at 13. I got my own line. And that was the end of that. I mean, it was not cordless. I don't know why it wasn't cordless, because we had cordless phones. Oh, I know why. Because I had the lip phone, like it was the lips that come apart. And then I graduated. Then I have a Lego phone. I still have that Lego phone. The lip phone was legit. And then when it rang, it would be neon when it rang. And then I had the phone that was clear. Remember when that was popular, when everything was clear? All right. Let's see how old some of you are. Did anyone ever have a pager, AKA a beeper, sipping coffee? Or a parent who did, a parent who was, usually it's a parent who is a medical professional of sorts, had one. I don't know why. Oh, or you're a drug dealer. That's why I had a pager. Why did I have a pager? So weird. I was the only person too. Oh, I know why. Yeah, and I'm trying to keep this episode light. And that will go sideways. Yes, it was a control tactic, narcissistic control tactic. That's why I had a pager. Because I was definitely not normal. In high school, people had when I was in high school, it wasn't, I went to a boarding school, a rich boarding school. So people had phones, but it's not like they had a BlackBerry. You had a car phone. You didn't have a phone, walking around with a phone. But I had a pager. And I do remember no one else had a pager. And I was I knew doctors did, and government officials and drug dealers. And I thought it was cool. And other people thought it was very cool that I had it. Their parents, not so cool. Their parents were highly suspect, which looking back, I would have been suspect too. And it was a control tactic. Because I would get paged certain numbers by specific abusers in my life. And it would put me on notice for things. Wow. That's so random. Maybe I should do episodes more when I'm not caffeinated. Because that was a stuffed memory that came up. And it happened in real life. And of course, I want to stop and delete and start re-recording now. Because you're what the hell does this have to do with the hard stuff that no one ever tells you about going after your dream life? And Tiffany's bringing surface trauma memories. What the hell? Well, anyway, that was fun. That was great. This is why I promised myself when I started this podcast, I was so tired of listening to all the curated, highly edited stuff. And not to say it's not kind of fun listening to podcasts where they're edited really well. There's music and transitions. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I like the art of a raw, real conversation and the unexpected and the random tangent. And I figured there had to be other people who love it too, in the sea of overly edited stuff and filtered stuff. So I hope you guys like when this happens. I mean, I'd like to think so, considering we've got at least 12 to 16,000 downloads per episode of the show now, which is wild. Why are there not enough of you writing 5-star written podcast reviews, by the way? So you can pause this now and go do it, but make a point of doing that today, because if you want people to give you testimonials and shout outs, reviews, you got to kind of take a look at yourself and see, have I done that for anyone else of any of the content that I really enjoy lately? And this is what helps the show grow, specifically doing it on Apple. Spotify, you can do reviews as well. Put your Instagram handle or your name in the review so I know it's you. And I often share these on social media. So I would love to see you leave a review and support the show. Let's get into the hard stuff no one ever tells you about going after your dream life. I think that's why I didn't want to be caffeinated for this. I wanted you to get the Tiffany upon waking, and I'm recording this on a Monday morning for you, which I can tend to wake up with a lot of anxiety. I don't know about you. I have to do a lot of work on myself to not start spinning. And I started spinning a bit this morning, and it wasn't cute. And normally I don't go immediately into scrolling because that's not good. And I did start scrolling. And then I started down the path of feeling I'm behind. I have so much to do. Boppa 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 boopy boppa boopy boppa bee. And then the whole brain starts going. And what a terrible way to wake up. And I did it and I did that part to myself. I mean, waking up with anxiety, that I'm not going to put on myself, right? I do have an anxiety disorder and PTSD that I deal with, but I didn't have to start scrolling, right? We do a lot of stuff that makes everything harder on ourselves, that makes things heavier, that causes more pressure and stress and shame and doubt. And a lot of it we're not conscious of, and some of it we are, and we do it anyway. But even the stuff we're not conscious of, we need to deliberately set practices in place to help us get conscious throughout the day. We've got to do that, because saying, well, God, I didn't realize I was doing it. I slipped into it before I knew it. I was beating myself up and feeling like crap. Totally get it. The way to offset that is we have to get on the offense of it. There's no way for that to just magically stop happening, no matter how many years of therapy you've done. If you're in a 12-step recovery program, if you go on some magical retreat somewhere, it doesn't matter. We've got to get ahead of it. So I do morning readings from daily readers, or you can use a daily devotional. There are tons of them. I have the apps on my phone because I'm going to pick up that phone anyway. So I have to work with my natural tendencies. And so I'm going to pick up that phone anyway. So instead of scrolling, I have multiple daily reader apps on my phone, meaning it is a passage to read that correlates with the actual day of the week. Hazelton is a really good app like that has, they're the owner, they're a publishing company, and they own a lot of these apps. So you can just search Hazelton in any of your app platforms and they'll come up. But I wanted to read you what came up for today. And I have it starred. It's kind of cool with the apps. You can star the passages that on the days that really resonate with you. And then you can go, if you're having a tough moment, afternoon, I'm in the middle of a launch, my head's spinning, I get bad news, you know, dealing with the FBI, you know, casual things over here. Sip of coffee necessary right now. I can just go into these and press the star and they all come up. Kind of similar to us like putting Post-its or dog earring pages of a book. So this is what it is today. And I really believe whatever we're supposed to read, we're supposed to read. Before I read this, another thing I do is you can set an alarm on your phone to trigger you at different points of the day where it could just be for a minute. Because if you tell yourself, I'm going to take 10 minutes to do breath work and move my body, you're going to blow it off. You can always add minutes, but let's just start with a minute. 1 minute, that's it. And set that alarm in your phone with something loving, right? Customize it to say something loving for yourself or something funny or something delightful for your inner child. And what is kind of cool is during that time, what you can also do is if you have a favorite book you're reading, or you prefer to have a physical kind of daily reader or like one of those tear-off calendars, just allow the universe to pick the page you're supposed to read. You know, kind of just thumb through it, kind of like you do with my affirmation card deck, right? You shuffle the deck and you intuitively pick the card and the universe is picking for you. You can do that, but do that also with a daily reader or a book. And it's incredible. You always land on the exact page and the exact passage and the exact quote you're supposed to read. It's really, I've been doing this for years. But this is today's that correlates with the date. It's titled Fulfillment. Everything I need shall be provided today. Everything. Say it until you believe it. Say it at the beginning of the day. Say it throughout the day. Sometimes it helps to know what we want and need. But if we don't, we can trust that God does. When we ask, trust, and believe that our needs will be met, our needs will be met. Ooh. Sometimes God cares about the silliest little things if we do. Today, I will affirm that my needs will be met. I will affirm that God cares and is the source of my supply. Then I will let go and see that what I have risked to believe is the truth. Woo! Wow. Everything I need shall be provided today. Everything. Keep saying that. I will affirm that my needs will be met. I will affirm that God cares and is the source of my supply. Then I will let go and see that what I have risked to believe is the truth. Because it's a risk. And this is part of the hard stuff that no one ever tells you about going after your dream life. And I don't just mean money, and I don't just mean your dream business, and I mean all of it. All areas of your life, how you want your life to look from waking till you go to bed, how you want it to feel, the house you want to live in, the sheets you want to lie on in your bed, the shower you want to experience every day, the food you want to nourish your body with, the people you want to surround yourself with. You know what no one ever fucking tells you? That in order for you to have those things, you have to take a risk and many risks, and it's uncomfortable. It really is. There's no guarantees. You've got to take a risk. If you don't like where you're at right now, it's not feeling good, something's off, you're unfulfilled, right? Remember, today's word of today is fulfillment. You're feeling unfulfilled. You're feeling lost. Oh my God, I can't make this up. I have an affirmation app that randomly pops up affirmations, and it just popped up just now. I set my intention. Wait, hold on. It disappeared. Oh God, I tapped on. Oh, here it is. I set my intention to enjoy today and every day. I set my intention to enjoy today and every day. I just saw out of the corner of my eyes it turned on, so I felt I needed to share that with you. You are feeling lost on the struggle bus. Is this really going to work? Can I make this work? Can I really have the life that I want to have for myself, for my children? Can I feel the way I want to feel? Can I really make money doing this? Am I really cut out for this? Am I really qualified for this? Are people really going to pay me for this? Who am I to be doing this? All that stuff. First of all, that's all normal. And I don't care how much money someone has in the bank. We all have these thoughts. All of us have them. This is another reason why I make sure I always have top paid coaches in my life. And I make a point of saying top. I don't hire anything basic for myself. Basic gets basic results. And when I say basic, I don't mean that you're basic because you're just starting out. Someone's just starting out doing anything, or someone has 1,000 followers. That's not what I mean. I'm paying for someone's intellectual property. I'm paying for the space someone can hold. I'm paying for someone's wisdom. I'm paying for someone's receipts, most importantly, meaning pure evidence that they have gotten through this thing themselves. Pure evidence that they have gone from point A and point B. Very clear evidence that I know they are the person who I feel safe with, who can trust me to get to that other side. If I do not have that and I'm left to my own self-will and my own devices and this brain of mine, I wouldn't do anything, because our brains spin all the time. My brain this morning, when I was scrolling, I immediately thought I'm behind. You want to feel behind and inept? Start scrolling before coffee. And upon waking, shame hit. I went for a shame hit. I caught myself. And that's why normally I wouldn't be recording an episode before coffee. But I was like, no. I'm in this space for a reason, and I want you to hear it. You have to do some very specific things if you want what you say you want. And you might not like what I have to say, but my commitment and my devotion to you is to always tell you straight up what's up. And this is my millionaire advice to you, my multimillionaire advice. You know, I started at $17,000 a year. Maybe you don't care about having millionaire status for yourself, but you want the options that kind of financial freedom provides. Trust me, you want the options. You want the options for yourself, your family, your health. There's a lot. Is it everything? Of course not. I went to off myself and I had $2 million in the bank 7 years ago. So no, it's not everything. That is true. Money is not everything. Especially if you don't have your mental wellness and you're alone and all of that stuff. But you do all that work on yourself. Let me tell you, money helps a lot of people. It gives you a lot of things. So I really want those options and that freedom for you. It allows you to design and co-create the life that you want without limits. And you get to have that. You don't have to be some special magical person to have that. You are special and magical. Special and magical doesn't mean you have millions of followers. Special and magical doesn't mean you're a size 4. Special and magical doesn't mean you're a cover model or you have multiple doctorates. Special and magical doesn't mean you have a million testimonials and you're speaking on all these stages. Some of the most, here I'm crying again, some of the most special and magical people that have influenced my life are not in the public eye. They're behind the scenes. We forget that in this age of social media. Every single person I meet, even people who I'm like, don't vibe, I know from being a former, TV newscaster and journalist. I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people between TV news, between job, interviewing people, like being in the corporate world, hiring people, and on this podcast, from the most mundane and boring to the most charismatic and wild. Every single person has something magical and special within them. And that's one of my gifts is I pull that out and then we determine together which of those special magical things of yours is best suited for you to monetize and help a lot of people with. Because you can't see it in yourself. It's very hard. I mean, have you ever tried to write your own bio? Oh my God. It's very hard. I almost have to like pretend I'm someone else, even when I'm writing my own bio. But typically I have to send it to one or two people to help edit it. Because it's so like, it feels so boastful and so weird. Like I'm telling you how special I am. Even at the front of this podcast, writing the intro, ooh, that was tough for me. It's like, here's how special I am in 30 seconds. Yeah, I am fucking special. And each and every one of you listening is also special, or you wouldn't be listening to this show because like attracts like. And there's a part of you that knows that. Either you already know you have something special, or there's a part of you that knows, but it's scary to grasp it. It's scary to believe it. Because what if you're wrong? What if no one else sees it? What if you make a fool of yourself? What if this is all a pipe dream? Well, it's not, because it wouldn't be in your heart. You wouldn't have this dream and this vision in your heart and your head. God, the universe, placed it there. Because there is a hell of a lot of people. In fact, there's billions of people who do not have the vision that you have to have the business you have, to create what you want to create or take it to the next level. Billions of people are very satisfied with going to their simple jobs every day, or even complex jobs every day, working for someone else. And that's okay. That's great. But there's something else you've got inside of you, and that was placed there. You didn't manufacture it. I promise you. It's there for a reason. And you're dishonoring God and you're dishonoring the universe by not trusting that it's there for a reason. And I have nothing to gain by telling you it's there for a reason. I really don't. I have nothing to gain by doing that. That wouldn't serve me at all. So a few things I want you to hear. This is my multimillionaire advice for you. There's a catch to everything in life. If you want to make lifestyle changing cash doing something you love, here's the deal. You have to make with yourself, or don't bother. This is straight up. You must show up every day for your dream business just as you would a 9-to-5 corporate job if you wanted a promotion. Many of you have lost your damn minds and you're showing up for your business like it's an optional hobby. If you showed up for how you're showing up for your business right now, your dream business, how you're showing up for that, if you showed up at a corporate career job like that, would you be fired, or would either you'd be fired or you wouldn't be promoted? I can almost guarantee that. So you got to have a regroup with yourself. Number 2, you must be willing to believe in yourself regardless of what others say and without having any external validation. Otherwise, you will quit. 3, you must spend money that scares you on high-quality support and coaches. There are no successful businesses or brands on the planet that didn't start in business debt. This is a good kind of debt. It's called investing. This is where you get an ROI. My applications are open, by the way, for my 2-month private business coaching program. Now there are only 4 spots left. You can swipe up the applications in the show notes. It's also on my Instagram in the link in bio, or you can go to my website, ProjectMeWithTiffany.com, under Work With Me. I don't always open these up. And these are for the people who are like, you know what, I'm doing this damn thing. That's who this is for. Where you're like, I'm treating this like my dream corporate job that I used to want. And I really want that promotion. What would you do? How would you show up? This program is for those people where I co-create and customize everything with you to get you to where you want to go. And yes, I work with people starting from scratch. or established entrepreneurs looking to grow to the high 6 figures and multiple 7 figures without losing their mind and trading all their time for money. What number are we on? 4. You must be open, humble, and willing to learn and address your deep inner wounds. Otherwise, they'll pop up and sabotage your dreams. And the last one, you must trust that it will all work out, even when every sign points the other way. Heaping doses of patience are required to make big money. That's probably the hardest one. It's really easy in life to go, this is great. This is working. It's kind of like you're trying to like lose weight or like tone up, and you wake up and you're like, I have ab lines. And you're like, oh my God, it's a skinny day. And you're like, your whole day is affected and you're feeling amazing from it. Yeah, those are days easy to feel pretty damn good about yourself. What about the days that you've worked out every day and eaten kale and not bought any Ben and Jerry's for, we're on day 5, by the way. Day 5. And you wake up feeling more disgusting, lethargic, and fatter than ever. Right? Same with business. How do you show up and manage whether your launch went amazing or it went like shit? What are you going to do? Because not everything you touch is going to turn to gold. In fact, most of it won't. But you see online all the shiny stuff where it looks like everything this person does. Now she's a bestseller. And it's her first book. And now she had her biggest launch ever. It's like, does this person ever fail? Does this person ever not reach it? Yes, they're just not showing you. But I remind you, go take a trip to your dollar store. They have them in almost every country. Go look at the land of the misfit products that didn't make it. Are you seeing Procter & Gamble, Kraft Foods, Lululemon, even Amazon? Are you seeing them put out a press release? Hey, we put in millions of dollars. Oh my God, dolphins are swimming by right now. Great timing. If you hear people screaming and yelling that's why they're like really close to shore. That's fucking awesome. Very cool. I wish you guys could see that. Go look at these misfit products because they're not going to put out a press release and go, so we're Kraft Foods. Yeah. And we put millions of dollars into research, packaging, trademarking, da-da-da-da-da. And this was an ultimate fail. And it ended up, we lost $25 million in this launch. No, you don't hear about it. They try to recoup their losses by reselling at a super, super discount that particular flavor of cereal or cookie or color of product to these discount stores like a TJ Maxx, Ross Dress for Less, the 99-cent store to at least try to recoup it. Some luxury brands, you know what they do? And I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get sued. But like high luxury brands, they burn their stuff because they don't want to lessen their brand. They don't want it even to come out at all that something they launched didn't work or was a design that no one liked or a style no one liked. So they burn the bags, honey. And I'm not joking. They burn the bags and they burn the clothes. Go Google it. Straight up facts. I've seen crazy shit behind the scenes of having my other business for 14 years. I'm behind the scenes of these multi-billion, even trillion-dollar companies, which is why I bring that knowledge to the small business owner. So you guys get access to that through me. Yeah, they burn it. That's why you don't see it. So just a reminder, you're going to have a lot of fails. There's no way to have a lot of successes without a lot of fails and a lot of like ho-hums, like, that just was okay. That's all part of it. You can't escape that. But it's how you show up during those times. Because if we're always waiting for the external validator of, this is working. See, this is working. You're doing great. You're losing weight. You're making money. You're getting clients. Oh, you had a reel go viral. Da-da-da-da-da. You're in deep trouble because you won't have consistency And now you're putting your own mental well-being and power in the hands of external things you have no control over. Super dangerous. It's easy to slip into it, but it does not work. If you guys love this episode, go leave a 5-star written Apple review or Spotify review. Put your name and Instagram handle in the review so I can share it in social media and say thank you for being such a loyal and appreciative listener. Again, you can swipe up for the applications for my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program. The link is there. It's also on my Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. Wishing you guys great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.